Hey everybody, it's Barbara Ann, and welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Bosco is done with his walk. It took twice as long as normal because he just really was not in the mood for his walk today. But I still try to get him to walk, even if it's just like 4 short blocks, like in a little square. So at least he gets a little bit of workout. So that took forever because we had to keep stopping. Every 2 inches, it's like he had to smell grass or a pole or this or that or some kind of weird weed that was in the grass now because it's springtime and all these things are popping up, and he just has to smell everything. And so it took forever, lots of little breaks, but finally done. So I can actually dig right into this song number 15 called The Alchemy. This happens once every few lifetimes. These chemicals hit me like a white wine. All right, so that's close to 150 songs in her entire discography that has the words wine, drunk, alcohol, liquor, getting wasted, fucked up, functioning alcoholic, alcoholism, alcohol referring to it as a drug, which it's kind of isn't, because it's more like a poison than it is a drug. That's why our body reacts the way that it does to it. But that's a lot. That's 11 albums. 11 albums and almost 150 60 times now. I have the exact count in a book before this album, how many times she used that, and then 132 for the word babe. But this was before this album. But this album in particular, I've been going through every single song, and we'll get to that in a second. But that is how many times that I've just counted, like, I'm just estimating in my mind. That is a lot of times to mention wine. I mean, a lot. When people like me and critics say that her songs and everything, that they're all the same, they really are. They really are all the same. She keeps regurgitating the same exact phrases and words, just in different combination or in different order. AI, it would be hilarious to see what AI does to make a Taylor Swift song, because we don't even need Taylor Swift to make Taylor Swift songs anymore. They literally, for a fraction of what they give Taylor Swift, money-wise, could use an AI program and generate her next album. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this album wasn't written by her at all and she used AI to do it for her and then somehow just made it fit to the music, and that's all that they had to really do. But these songs, I'm having a hard time believing that Taylor Swift is actually writing these at this point. I really am. I'm thinking that these are AI generated and they were playing around with that concept, and she maybe moved some things around here or there, or maybe actually wrote on some of the songs that she had, like Post Malone or Florence Ball. Maybe she actually wrote those, but this is just way too coincidental that she keeps literally regurgitating the same songs over and over. And I have seen the video and the sound clip of somebody took 2 seconds of every single one of all 31 tracks of the Torture Poets department and played it 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, all the way through all 31 songs. And you literally, I cannot even express that word enough, literally could not even tell any of the songs apart. It sounded like a streamlined just one song. And that to me is worse than an F for fail for an album. And there's nothing poetic about that, because poetry is not all this dumpy, nasty, regurgitated shit. Poetry is supposed to be, if you were to make a book of your combined poetry that you've written in your lifetime, or even just through a certain season of your life, it's not all gonna be the same depressing woe is me about a boy. You are a middle-aged white woman. Stop referring to yourself as a child or child's play or a teen or a teenager or teenage petulance, or refer to yourself as a kid or just any of those things, because you're not. Stop infantizing yourself, and other people won't infantize you. But that to me is what's really alarming there, because if this was a man doing that, he would be called oh my God, every name: racist, misogynist, bigot, would be thrown in on top of pervert, pedophile, stalker, creepy. If a man was to talk about, if a almost 40-year-old white man was to talk about girls and young girls and girls that he knew and girls that he dated, and were to talk about himself as a teenage boy or a young boy or child or child's play or anything like that, oh no, that would not, no, his entire career would be canceled. But Taylor Swift gets to do it just because she's a female and gets away with mentally, psychologically tripping people up about her age. I'm sorry, but in any context, that's not right, male or female. And I don't think she gets a pass to do that. You're almost 40. You're middle-aged. Even with her being 35 this year, okay, that's halfway to 60. Only 27% of the population, will make it to their 70th birthday. When they literally say that, I'm telling you, that is the truth. That aging, growing old is a privilege that is denied to many. And it used to be only 3 to 5% of the population. But now it's only 27%, and that is due to Western and modern medicine solely, that it's that high. But think about that. 73 people out of every 100 are going to die before their 70th birthday. So yes, being almost 40 years old, you're going to be 35, you round up. That age range, she's my age group. Literally my age group. I'm 2 years older than her. But to be almost 40, you are over middle-aged. You are middle-aged, halfway to your death. Even if, nobody knows and can predict who's going to live, who's not. People, especially celebrities, die in private jets all the time. They die in aircrafts all the time because they're more likely to be on a private jet all the time. Look at Patsy Cline, Aaliyah. Look at how many of them have passed away or perished in really sad circumstances because they are in a career where they're traveling all the time. Accidents are more likely to happen to celebrities. Or drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol in combination have killed off so many celebrities. Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, Whitney Houston. Look at how many of the other even B, C, D rate celebrities that have died because of alcohol and prescription drug or over-the-counter drug combination. Lots. So Taylor Swift, just because of her looks, trying to make herself look like she's younger, does not get away with acting like she's younger, because she wants to be relatable and relevant to the generation now, not the generation of her and I. And there's something really especially heinous and sick and disturbing about somebody who wants to project themselves as 15 years younger than what they really are. That's weird. Okay, so I'm going to dive right back into this. What if I told you I'm back? The hospital was a drag. Worst sleep I ever had. I circled you on a map. I haven't come around in so long, but I'm coming back so strong. So when I touch down, call the amateurs and cut them from the team, ditch the clowns, get the crown. Baby, I'm the one to beat. That's the second time she's mentioned that in some kind of off-putting way. Like, bitch, you think you're going to take my spot? Baby, I'm the one to beat. Because the sign of your heart said that it was reserved for me. Honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? Okay, so you're using football metaphors, which is a 21st century game, and you're using alchemy, which is like 14th, 15th, 16th century, was actually considered like a physical science or like a science type. Why would you be, how does alchemy and football metaphors, how do they mix? That's what I want to know. Hey you, what if I told you we're cool? That child's play is back in school. That's another thing. Child's play or school or teenage petulance and teenagers. We were so cool. I haven't come around in, it's forgiven under my rule. I haven't come around in so long, but I'm making a comeback to where I belong. Really, is this the cheesy Travis Kelce football fucking metaphor song? Oh my God, this is so cliche and stereotypical. So when I touch down, call the amateurs and okay, blah, blah, blah. We already got to that whole entire repeat. These blokes warm the benches. We've been on a winning streak. He jokes that it's heroin, but this time with an E. Are you fucking kidding me? She just said heroin, as in like the drug heroin that has killed over like 38 million Americans for like all of time. Are you serious? With the heroin and opiate epidemic, she literally just he jokes that it's heroin, but this time with an E, as in heroin, like female heroin. Wow, that's like comparing yourself to a very addictive, very serious, killing opiate. Like, wow, you think that about yourself? Because the sign in your heart said it's still reserved for me. Honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? Shirts off, and your friends lift you up over their heads. Beer sticking to the floor. Another beer, wine, alcohol. Cheers chanting because they said there was no chance. Trying to be the greatest in the league. Where's the trophy? He just comes running over to me. But she wears short skirts. I wear t-shirts. She's the cheer captain, and I'm in the bleachers. Dreaming of the day when you'd wake up and find that what you've been looking for has been here the whole time. Now this is from the other, no, this is fucking stupid. I'm going to write a song from this perspective and then write a song from this perspective. Touchdown, call the amateur. Okay, blah, 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 blah. She repeats, these blokes, more benches, winning streak, da, 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 da. Honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? This happens once every few lifetimes. These chemicals hit me like white wine. Thank you, Taylor, Allison Swift, and Jack Michael Antoff, who really is the one who has done the music and a lot of the writing for a lot of her songs. Because, God forbid, Taylor Swift is not capable of producing and writing 100% all of her own lyrics and music and album and all of it. Because it's really Max Martin and Jack Antoff who should be praised and honored and given all the accolades for the production of the music. And if Taylor Swift is so great, she would have spent the $300 million buying her masters. She would have bought her masters. She would, instead of forgetting to mention to everybody that her father had 3% stake in that company and benefited $15 million off the sale of that company. Forgetting to mention that, or her mom and brother and what they get paid from helping Taylor Swift management or whatever LLC she's limited liability that she is linked to or has created. Right? So Taylor Swift, yeah, blah, blah, blah. If you were shit, you would if you were like hot shit and you were that great at music, you wouldn't still be under Universal or Epic or Big Machine. You wouldn't be under a contract at all. If you had over $1 billion liquidated money and you had that kind of money to be buying $50 million mansions, like 20 of them around the globe, like Ellen, that is such a human waste. And so much of that money could go towards doing something fantastic, like keeping music and art programs in schools and colleges for kids, where all of these arts programs are being cut and taken away. There's so much good that you could do for the homeless. So much good that you could do for music, for women and girls who don't have the chance that you have. Instead, you're making songs about how, come and take my spot. Try to come from my spot. Try to come from my job. And that's really kind of fucked up. That, not even really kind of fucked up. That's just completely heinous and a fuck you and a slap in the face to every other musician who's not in that spot. And they're not in the spot because you're the best, Taylor Swift. You're in that spot because you're a fucking narcissist, because it takes a narcissist to be in that spot and to put yourself where you're at and to have that kind of fake image and persona and to try to sell that shit to people. Because you're so broken and insecure inside because you know it. You know that you can't live up to that. You know you're not enough. When you say it gets so loud, it's not because other people are loud. It gets so loud inside of your own head, inside of your own heart. But you're not producing good lyrics. You're not producing good music. It doesn't matter how diehard your fans are and what they say. You could put out literally something AI generated and people are going to fucking love it and think that it's you. And they would never know the difference. But I've gone through every single one of these songs, and I'm sorry, but what is this? What did I say? The Alchemy, this is 14? No, this is 15. I'm so sorry. This is 15. So that's out of 15 songs, 14 of them mention dying, death, broken, blasphemy against the Christian church, which you claim to be a part of, living an unrighteous life, trying to infantize yourself, This is literally, I really do believe that she's using AI to produce these lyrics and is playing some kind of really fucked up joke on people. But you look at her other albums and her other songs all say this same kind of bullshit. And you know what, like, I can't even with the vocal disfluencies, the like and because I just can't even formulate the words and the vocabulary just going through this right at this moment to even express how frustrating it is to see how terrible of a songwriter she actually is and how mediocre her voice is, how mediocre her musical skills are. And I have a 12-year-old son who has been learning how to read music, is in the 6th grade, and he plays the tenor saxophone. And he is being classically trained in how to read music and do music. And he's very intelligent, very high IQ. You can tell right off the get that he just picks it up. And he's just really advanced. I mean, he doesn't even have to practice. That's how good he is. It's absolutely insane. He's even played with the 7th grade band, which hardly any other 6th grader has ever in the history of his school been able to have that honor. But I just think with music, you know, you want to pursue that. There are people that just have that God-given gift, that God gave them that gift. There's other people who want it so bad and then end up really not wanting it, but they just want to be that person, to have that spotlight and that fandom and the people out there cheering them on who want to make music, but they're not actually God-given that talent. And that's just the way that it seems like she's really fighting against the grain. Like, this isn't what she was meant to do, but she's doing it. And unfortunately, I gotta say, this is 0 out of 10 for me too. This whole album is terrible. The only song that I even dug was Florida, and that's because Florence Welch had her hand all over the writing of that, even though it wasn't credited on Google and in other places. I know, because I can tell. And Taylor Swift has tried many times in her life to emulate Florence Welch. I can tell she's a fan of hers, and she's a fan of the way that she writes and has tried to emulate that. And she's too large to fail now. No, Taylor Swift, it's really sad. It's really sad that she's got that kind of money. If she got that kind of money, she would have opened up her own music production and all her own equipment and make her own studio, not just set up a studio for when she wants to do her albums to be in compliance with whatever contract she has going on. She would have bought her masters, and she would continue music while being able to still retire, still give back to so much in the world with that kind of money, and be able to really nurture, foster, encourage, enable other young artists, especially young female artists who are great at singing and music and playing instruments, for them to be able to put out their albums, their debut albums, and their subsequent albums. Just like I've said before, you know, that would be the smart move. That would be giving back. The fact that she doesn't do that ever tells me everything I need to know about the last 18 years of Taylor Swift and who she really is and what she's all doing it for. Because it's all self-serving selfishness. She's a narcissistic, psychological egoist who can't get anybody to want to stay with her. And that's even a bigger red flag right there. Because I'm not going to say this to sound crude, but even the ugliest, fattest men and women on this planet that are aesthetically not what society thinks is pretty, but is aesthetically what society thinks is ugly or overweight, they can get somebody to love them for who they genuinely are on the inside. They can get somebody to fuck them. They can get somebody to want to have kids with them and settle down with them. They can get people that love them and want to marry them. What the fuck is wrong with Taylor Swift that she cannot be a grown-ass 40-year-old, almost 40-year-old woman that she truly is and get a good man, a good stable man? That's because her line of work and at the level that she is not coming across good people. She's coming across other narcissists who pretend to be good people behind fake toilet veneer teeth. And to me, yeah, her songs are starting to reflect.